Hey guys, so yesterday I finally went and saw Bohemian Rhapsody. No, a little late in the game, but I've been busy. And I know it's like been a couple weeks since now that I think about it, it's been a few weeks since I've done a review. I think Mandy was my last review. I was on vacation for about a week. But anyways, before I get into my review of that movie, I do want to address good news, bad news that I have. Um, the bad news, I guess I'll get the bad news out of the way. I am currently not working at the job that I've been working at for the last couple months or so. A couple months ago, I said in my video, in my reviews, that I was going to be going to have a new job where I was going to be working afternoon turns all the time, and I wasn't going to be able to see movies as frequently as I have been. And it would be random when I usually do get a chance to go see them. Well, now I'm not working there anymore. I'd rather not talk about why. It's something that just know I still have a job at my other place that I was working at before that. So I'm still employed. But that does mean I'll be able to. The good news is that means I'll be able to do more reviews a lot more frequently, and not have like a long periods of time between reviews, like I have for the last couple months. It's one of those. It kind of sucks, but whatever. Like I said, I don't want to get into details. That's not what I'm here to do. Is talk about my job or badmouth my job. But like I said, I'll be doing reviews. I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that one day maybe I can start making money doing these reviews. I know you can do it on YouTube. Or hell, just something like Movie Pass will come fucking falling on my lap like it did last year and help me out a lot. Because movies are kind of expensive. I don't know if you've noticed or not. So I don't know. Like I said, I may still do these reviews. Like I said, I will be seeing a lot of, like I said, like I have been for the past few months, just to go to see like movies are getting good reviews or movies I've been curious to see. Anyways, let's talk about Bohemian Rhapsody. So I am going to make a confession here and say that I'm a huge fucking Queen fan. I've been a big Queen fan since I've probably since I've been little. I remember hearing stuff like Bohemian Rhapsody for the first time. I think probably the first time I ever heard Bohemian Rhapsody, I think like a lot of people my age, was seeing Wayne's World. But then you hear that song and then you listen to more of their music, and I fell in love with them. I've been a big fan of Queen ever since I was little. I grew up in a household that my parents love to listen to classic rock, and that's my favorite bands are Queen and AC/DC. And Queen, stylistically, I'd probably say Queen is the better band, but I always kind of, just my special place in my heart, always say AC/DC is my favorite of all time, but Queen is a very fucking close second. I love Queen. I just love their music. And of course, when I heard that they were going to be making a movie, I'm like, hell yeah, about fucking the band Queen and more importantly, Freddie Mercury. You could make an interesting story. I'm surprised that this movie has actually came out. I don't know if anybody has seen the production issues that have gone on with this film. It's taken I've heard this movie's been in fucking production for the last 10 years, I think. And I mean, it's been in production hell for a long goddamn time, and I'm surprised this even fucking came out. From Sacha Baron Cohen. This was originally Sacha Baron Cohen's passion project that I was all on board for him doing this because honestly, one, he looks like Freddie Mercury. Two, I think he has proven that he can do serious roles, even though he's a more comedic actor. I think he can pull it off. And I was all on board. I was really excited about this idea that, like I said, this was his passion project. He really wanted to do this movie. And they had the remaining members of Queen involved in it. Then he got fired, and you're like, oh, well, fuck. Like, I'll talk about that more in the review, why he got fired, and because that does deal with some of my opinions on it. But then I forgot about this fucking movie, and then Brian, like, randomly, I didn't hear about it again until I found out Bryan Singer, who was signed on to direct it, the guy who did, like, the first few X-Men movies, was fired, like, right before the movie was done shooting. Like, they literally had shot pretty much a majority of the movie. They pretty much were done. And they fired him. Apparently, like, there was all these issues with him like, behind the scenes and shit like that. So I'm like, what the hell? That's never a good sign for this movie, like, for these movies. I was like, oh god, this might be a bad movie. And I was sold, but then my worries were kind of quelled because I saw the trailers and I was fucking sold on it. I was like, god damn, I can't wait for this. Like, it's a movie that, like, about my favorite band. I'm gonna fucking see it regardless, even if it's getting good reviews or getting bad reviews. It's been getting in the middle of the road reviews, and I was like, I'm gonna see this regardless. And is it good? Is it bad, as critics say, or is it, like, somewhere in the middle? Well, it's funny because when I was walking out of this movie, I had the biggest smile on my face. Mainly because of the music. Like, I was singing along with the music. Like, hell, the movie ends, the end credits end with, like, video of Can't Stop Me Now, which is one of my favorite Queen songs. And it's, like, the original band, and, like, footage of the original band and Freddie Mercury, and just, like, fucking, I loved it. Like, I was just fucking, had a big smile on my face and everything else like that. And I'm like, god damn, so that was awesome. And then I had reality kind of hit me again, came back and hit me again, because I was like, yeah, but the rest of the movie wasn't that great, or was kind of okay. This movie is okay. I didn't hate it. I had fun watching it, mainly because I'm a Queen fan. I loved it. Like, there was parts of it I loved. Mainly just, and I'll get into that in a second, but also the movie critic part of my brain couldn't stop fucking yelling throughout the movie, because it was like, yeah, this movie is a fucking mess, though. like, I couldn't ignore that. I couldn't but acknowledge, like, the problems I had with this movie. But also at the same time, I did find myself enjoying it, because this is not the worst musical biopic I've ever seen. This is far from it. I still had fun watching it, and if I wasn't a Queen fan, maybe I wouldn't be as enthusiastic or, like, give it as much of a positive review as I'm probably going to give. Even though, like I said, I'm going to acknowledge the problems this movie has, because there is a lot. It's not the best movie of the year or anything like that, but I had fun. I had fun. It was kind of like with Halloween. I was like, I had fun. And, you know, that's pretty much it. Things I liked about this movie. I can name positives. I'll get the most obvious out of the way that everybody's been saying. Rami Malek as Freddie Mercury is fucking great. He captures Freddie Mercury down to T. That had to be fucking hard. I give that guy credit. It had to be the hardest job ever. And he is really good in this movie. He is really fucking good in this movie. He is... Like, he captures everything about Freddie Mercury very fucking well. And to the point, like, there are points in this movie I almost forgot that wasn't actual Freddie Mercury. Like, it got to, he was that good. Like, there are points in this movie, like, when he's performing on stage, I actually thought that was Freddie Mercury cloned. But it's like, I had to fucking pull myself back to reality. But it's like, god damn, he did a really good job. And like I said, he's a pretty goddamn good actor too. And I've seen him in stuff here and there, and I always been, from what I've seen of him, I never watched Mr. Robot. I've heard it's great, but I just never have watched it. He, like, stuff I have seen him in, he is a really good actor, and he's like, this is a breakout performance for him, like as far as movies go. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets an Oscar nomination. Doesn't really, doesn't deserve Best Actor, but he's probably gonna get a nomination. I would be very shocked because it's a famous figure in music, and yeah, it's probably gonna get nominated. I love the last 10-15 minutes of this movie is just their Live Aid performance, and that was really fucking well done. That was a really well done fucking. It looked like real footage of, like, I've seen the footage of the real performance of Live Aid. I think everybody has at Wembley Stadium, and they do a good job of reenacting it and doing a really good job of making it look really cool. Even though, like, there is, like, the obvious CGI audience. Like, they couldn't obviously get, like, millions of extras filled into, like, Wembley Stadium. That's impossible. They can't do that. It was obvious CGI, but I knew that going in. I mean, you would have to be a fucking moron. But, like, that whole sequence was very good. Obviously, the fucking music was fucking great. Like I said, it's a solid biopic. Like I said, it's carried by, like, people like Rami Malek, the music, even like this, not just Live Aid, but a lot of the musical performances and a lot of stuff like that made it feel like authentic Queen performances, almost like doing a really good job of capturing them. From what I've seen, like I said, I didn't grow up at that time, but they did a pretty good job. Now let's get into the negatives. Where do I start? So, okay, this movie from the fucking get-go almost pissed me off. It did almost piss me off from right off the get-go, because this movie is, like everybody has said, a formulaic, paint-by-numbers, musical biopic, if I've ever fucking seen one. And that's not always a bad thing, because there's been a lot. It's really hard to do something different that hasn't been done before. But from the fucking get-go, it shows Freddie Mercury when he was younger working at Heathrow Airport. He goes home to his parents, who, of course, his dad disapproves of his lifestyle and his choice to be a musician and shit like that. I'm like, oh, fuck you. I'm like, I sat there going, I'm somebody who's a Queen historian can maybe correct me if I'm wrong, because I did look into, like, what was historically accurate and what wasn't, because there was a lot of inaccuracies in this movie. But I remember hearing, like, reading somewhere that Freddie Mercury's parents were pretty supportive of him, including his dad. So where the fuck did they get this whole dad disapproving thing? Which, of course, every fucking musical biopic has to have that character. Like, either it has to be a wife or a parent, or somebody has to be disapproving of their lifestyle, and they have to get their approval and shit. Like, it's annoying. It's a fucking stereotype. It's a cliche that just needs to die. Like, what, can't you do anything else? And like I said, I'm pretty certain that is really 100% historically inaccurate, and maybe I'm wrong, but like I said, like, why add that? Like, you have enough of an interesting story about Freddie Mercury that you don't need to make shit up. Okay, and then another cliche that annoyed the piss out of me. You see this in the trailers, where how he ends up coming across two of the lead members of Queen. I can't remember the names off the top of my head. Of course, I pretty much remember Freddie Mercury, and that's about it. Obviously, I think everybody mostly does. But he comes across them by seeing them playing in another band where lead singer just conveniently quits on the night that he comes to the club to see them play. And he's like, well, I guess you need a lead singer. Wah, wah. Like, of course, I guarantee that it didn't happen that way. And I looked it up and I'm like, no, it didn't. They knew each other long before that guy quit. Like, he did quit, but he didn't, like, they didn't just happen to see each other one night and they became a band overnight. That's not how it fucking happened. Why does that always fucking happen in movies? Just conveniently the main character comes across a band and they don't have a lead singer. That always drives me to fucking insane. Like, why do you have to put that shit? God damn it. So, there's also, okay, anybody who defends this movie and says it's perfect and the greatest movie ever made, tell me something. I dare you to tell me something. Name me anything that you learned about any of the remaining Queen members of the band, or the remaining members of the band Queen that you didn't already know. Or can you name one thing you learned anything about them? I didn't. They're literally background noise. They're in the background. They make this movie like it's supposed to be about Queen. It's a biopic about Queen. Bullshit. It's not. It's a movie about Freddie Mercury, which I'm fine with. But they kind of advertise it that it's supposed to be a biopic about Queen. It's not. Because they are like literally disappear from this movie for like majority of it. And all I can tell you about them and from this movie is that, one, they were in the band, and two, they had wives, apparently. That's all I knew about them. Like, I knew nothing about these characters. I'll give them this. They got guys that looked like they showed the footage of like all the original band members and the real band members and everything at the end of the movie, and I was like, they did a really good job picking guys that looked pretty good, pretty almost close to their counterparts. Yeah, like I said, there's no character development and also like the girlfriend who, you know, I almost forget that Freddie Mercury had a lifelong partner who was a female, who he was engaged to, but he came out gay to her, and then they broke off their engagement, shit like that. But if I remember correctly, if I'm wrong, he left a lot of his estate to her, which is awesome, because they were lifelong friends even after they broke their engagement. That's awesome. Cool dude. Like I said, it's but like you really don't know much about her, like other than like she's just engaged to Freddie Mercury, like, and that she has a deaf dad. That's all I learned about her. That's the only characteristics. Like, it's Freddie Mercury's movie. Just fucking call it that. I also found it funny, like, when you had, like, Mike Myers is in this movie. I knew about that going in, but he's, like, the record producer who... Is he trying to do a British accent? Because if he is, he just sounds like Mike Myers. Like, I don't think... it's supposed to be, like, a British person. I don't know, because he was the record producer for Elton John too, but it's like I give him credit. Like, you don't look like Mike Myers, like, because they do a pretty good job like trying to hide him, but it sounds like Mike Myers. Like, I was like, is he gonna, like, when you got introduced, it's like, oh guys, he gonna try to do like an Austin Powers accent? That would have been kind of funny, but yeah, no, it just sounds like Mike Myers. Like, it was like, yeah, it's nice to see Mike Myers in something again. I do like Mike Myers. Fuck. Like, this movie, like, it's very historically inaccurate. You look it up, there's a lot of stuff, like I said, between how they met, and also how he is diagnosed with AIDS. Spoiler alert, if you don't know, he died of AIDS. I'm sorry if you don't know the fucking story, Queen. Fuck you, why are you watching this review? So, he is diagnosed pretty much the way they play it out. Like, I was told one of the controversies about this movie was, like, how they treat how he found out about being diagnosed with AIDS. And they pretty much make it out like I knew instantly, like, what was the inaccuracy, and that is he finds out right before Live Aid, and he tells the band of the Queen right before Live Aid that he has AIDS and he's dying. That's not how it happened, apparently. He didn't get diagnosed until 1987. The Live Aid happened in 1985. And like I said, Hollywood makes shit up all the damn time. I mean, it's like, can't you just... Has there ever been a fucking movie based off a true story that has never been... that has been 100% historically accurate? I believe no. I believe the answer is no. So, I mean, that's Hollywood for you. But one thing that this movie, and I agree with... Somebody had mentioned this before, and it's so obvious with this movie... that this movie should have been rated R. It should have been rated. It so needed to be rated R. It's a movie about Freddie Mercury, a guy who lived a very hard R lifestyle. You can't make a PG-13 movie about him and not like do like, because like it just kind of glances over a lot of things about him, from his crazy sex orgy parties, which was apparently what Sacha Baron Cohen wanted to focus a lot of stuff on, but Queen members didn't, and that's why he got fired. And there's like, I mean, it just kind of hints at it, but we all know what the fuck's going on. Like, you need to just go full blown hard R. Don't be fucking, because like I said, they could have gone more dark, and I mean, people say, well, they wanted to focus on what he meant to music and stuff. I understand that. You can do that too. You can do it both ways and still, make everybody happy. I think there could have been an easier way. Like I said, this movie should have been all... There's no way you can make a... It's hard to make a Freddie Mercury movie and it be PG-13. And like I said, there's like instances where you see cocaine a little bit. Like they briefly touch upon his drug overdose. Also, this movie, like, it doesn't really delve upon too much. Also, I thought it should have delve upon the homophobia that resulted when he was suspected to be gay. Everybody thought he was gay, how the press was treating him. They kind of delve upon that a little bit, but not much. Only one scene where there's a press conference and everybody's focused on his sexuality and asking him questions about his personal life and everything else, but they're not asking questions to the other band, and everybody's irritated. But I said, I felt like they could delve, because there was a lot more about that, that they could have went into more. I know, like I said, you can do a happy medium where you can focus on the music and talk about his personal life. Is if you're going to do a movie about this, again, this is a movie about Freddie Mercury, not the band Queen. Again, I love Queen and stuff like that, but the more interesting movie is about Freddie Mercury. It's not about the band Queen. It's about Freddie Mercury. He had an interesting lifestyle. He's also a great cautionary tale for the rock star lifestyle, because he died because all that shit he did, the crazy shit he did, all the sex parties, not just because he was gay, he got AIDS. And it's a great cautionary tale for that could be told, but like I said, it's a movie that, like, it could have been a lot better, but it wasn't terrible, right? That's the best way you could describe this movie. It wasn't terrible. It was okay. I loved it. Mainly, I loved it because I'm a Queen fan. I was going to be unbiased. It was going to be hard for me to be unbiased to this movie and hate this movie. I knew going in there was going to be really hard for me to hate this movie, and it's not. I couldn't. There's problems, like I said, with this movie. Every problem that you've heard about this movie is pretty much spot on. But I still liked it, enjoyed it. Not my favorite movie of the year, but it was still a lot of fun. Trailers. God, I got 24 minutes. Let's get through these fucking trailers. Vox Lux. This is a movie that I kept seeing like advertisements on like Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, what the fuck is that? and it's Oscar bait movie. Obviously, it's like a musical biopic about somebody that's not a real person. That's the best way to describe it. It's Natalie Portman playing this pop star, and the trials and tribulations that's going on for her life. There's a lot more to that plot. Read the plot synopsis. There's a lot more to the plot than the trailers fucking show you. It's fucking crazy. When I read the plot synopsis, like, I did not catch any of that shit. But it looks good, and from what it's supposed to be, like, really good movie. It's obviously an Oscar bait movie, but it looks really good. Holmes and Watson, John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell are Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. That's all I gotta say. It's a comedy about them being Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. I'm not the biggest. I like John C. Reilly. I'm kind of give or take with Will Ferrell. I've seen him in good stuff, but his style of comedy gets grating at times. I've never been a fan of like stuff like Step Brothers or Talladega Nights. I hate both those movies. I know I'm in a minority, but I cannot get into those movies. But yeah, like it didn't look terrible. I don't think this is an Adam McKay movie, which was the guy who directed the other like Talladega Nights and what the fuck, Step Brothers, but because I think he's busy doing that Dick Cheney biopic, which looks awesome. And he, like I said, it's the only thing I noticed of this movie is Braun Strowman from WWE is in this. What the hell? I was like, holy shit, Braun Strowman! That's the only thing that fucking popped my attention. I'm like, oh, cool! Like one of my favorite wrestlers. So yeah, it's probably not gonna be my thing. Mary Poppins Returns. I got a full-length trailer for the first time for this. So it's like Mary Poppins returns to help the kids from the first movie, all grown up, to help take care of their kids, basically. That's basically what the plot of this movie is. And it's Emily Blunt in this movie. Also, Dick Van Dyke is in this. I was like, that's kind of cool. And Meryl Streep? What the hell? She's got like a fucking supporting role, apparently. Even though she's not like in the trailers other than like an image of her. I'm like, oh. But also, I marked out when Dick Van Dyke's name popped up. And then also, I like the fact that they're trying to replicate the animation from the original, like have animated scenes like the original. I thought that was pretty cool. Even though if if the original the author of Mary Poppins were still alive, she'd be she'd be rolling in her grave right now, furious because she hated, again, despite what Saving Mr. Banks tells you, she hated that fucking movie. She hated that movie. Still did till the day she died. So yeah, and like one of the reasons was because the animation and Dick Van Dyke being in it. So yeah. But anyways, yeah, it looked good. Like I said, it's been a while since I've seen Mary Poppins. I might have to watch that again, but it did look good. I liked the idea of Emily Blunt playing Mary Poppins. Like, I don't know why you couldn't just have like an older Mary Poppins played by Julie Andrews, but I don't know. It still would have worked. Julie Andrews is like still alive and capable of acting, so I mean, yeah, that's as far as trailers go. I'm gonna go see Overlord probably tomorrow, and until then, I'll talk to you guys later.